me just unpause my screen. Hi everyone, this is Mike Taylor. Some of you know me, some of you might not. Welcome. Let's get started with the agenda. I'm going to talk about, you can read it, what B1UP is, what print and delivery is, why you should use print and delivery, and a short demo and some Q&A. So just briefly, we have another webinar about B1UP, and you've probably heard about it before, but if you haven't, B1UP is a well-known add-on framework which allows you to customize your SAP Business One. It is, I call it a framework because it is a lot of different things. So it's not just like a credit card processing add-on. B1UP allows you to move fields around, to add fields and to place fields into different forms, to add buttons, to add macro automations. It includes a really extensive dashboarding system that lets you turn SQL queries into dashboards on your Business One desktop area, amongst a lot of other things. So it really it allows us to customize your SAP to another level, and it allows us to really customize processes and reinforce your processes using a lot of cool customization tools. I really think if you don't have it, you're really missing out on a lot of stuff. So
Mike, I'm losing a bit of sound there.
Print and delivery? So once you have the B1 for all your users, you can extend it with a productivity plugin called Print and Delivery. And what Print and Delivery does is it takes that kind of notion of improving SAP Business One and extends it to emailing and printing and basically delivering documents. So this is what we're going to talk about today, but it really just easier emailing directly from the system, being able to see if something's sent. You can eliminate SPO mailer and the SMTP setup to do with that. So that is kind of what it is. So you have to have B1UP for all of your users, but you can get print and delivery as an extent to that for a selection of users. It starts around $1,500. Really worth the value, I think.
Hey, Mike, can you hear me?
So why? Yes.
Your sound is really, your sound, I know you're in Vancouver, but you sound a lot further than that. You sound like Darth Vader. We're getting the electronic. Do you have something wrong with your headsets? You okay?
I think I'm fine. I can hear that your headset is clicking. Is it maybe on your side, or can anybody else?
Okay,
I'm wired in. I'm wired in.
Okay, go ahead. I guess it's me.
Okay, sorry.
All right, sorry.
Sound all right to everybody? Because I feel like I'm just going to carry on. All right, sorry about that. So why do you want to use print and deliver? So obviously you've probably already read most of this, but this is really exciting stuff. You can do custom dynamic email wording directly within SAP. So what that means is you can make a template for your emails like Dear Mike Taylor or Dear Contact Person, find attached your sales order, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can, and the user doesn't need to write the wording each time. You can conditionally include terms and conditions. You can conditionally include other instructions. You can really customize that. It makes it so much easier. You don't have to PDF to the desktop, go to your Outlook, write an email or paste a template and then attach the PDF. It'll do everything for you. You can even dynamically name the PDF using print and delivery. So you don't have to rename anything. The email system goes direct to Exchange. So Office 365, like if you have Office 365 or some sort of hosted Exchange, which most people do these days, you can go directly through that system and it will send it directly from your email and it'll appear immediately in your sent box. whether or not you have SAP and Outlook in the same place. So this is really important because if you have external salespeople, they aren't necessarily going to have SAP on their machine, or if you're working remotely or whatever the situation is, maybe you're using a terminal server, maybe you're using application publishing internally. Wherever you run SAP, you basically just click the email button and it'll send directly and you will see it immediately in your sent box. So that's amazing because it has a much higher delivery rate. If you're using SMTP, if you use SMTP and you also use an attachment, it will very commonly get sent to a spam folder. So obviously for cash flow, you want your invoices to be delivered to the end person, or for your purchase orders, you need to get them to your vendors. You want to make sure that they are actually delivered and that you know if they were delivered. So this huge benefit of using print and delivery is if you have a bounce back from maybe an incorrectly typed email or whatnot, you'll know if the email was bounced because it was literally sent through your email box or through, say, a centralized email box, and it'll bounce back and it'll say email undelivered. Currently, if you're using something like SBO Mailer, you won't know. You will have no clue if it's delivered. You won't know if it was sent. You won't know if it bounced. You have none of that information. So with print and delivery, because it goes through your exchange, it appears in your sent box, you can see that it was sent, and if it was sent to the wrong person, it'll get a bounce back, and you'll see that immediately. So that in a nutshell is kind of the main feature that I really think is worth the money for the print and delivery module. On top of that, you have a ton of extra stuff. So mass deliveries and batch deliveries, you can automate the scheduled delivery of various things. So you could say, automate yourself a report, or you can automate a mass or batch delivery. So it doesn't have to necessarily even be an email. It's called print and delivery. You can also say, make a custom UDF on the business partner or say a customer, and you can say that customer prefers email, that customer prefers print, that customer prefers fax. And then what you could do is at the end of the day, you could just mass print, deliver, fax all of your invoices, and it'll spit out, a combination of emails and a combination of printed invoices and a combination of faxed or whatnot. So that's something you could do. Just conditional delivery is really, really good. You can also do things like conditional print locations. So if you have two warehouses, say for example, or maybe you have one TPL, one third-party logistic, and one warehouse that you use, or maybe you have two warehouses, you can read the document being printed and say, where should this pick list be sent? And it can automatically print to a network printed printer in those locations. So you have kind of ultimate control over how you're delivering your documents, print sequences, and automatic delivering. You can also save, if you are kind of a network archiver, you can have that when you email or when you print, it'll automatically also save a copy in a network location. That can be dynamic. So you could have, B1 share, delivered documents, invoices, the customer's name, and then the actual document there. So you can always refer back to it. And another little bonus thing, which you could do now, is you can conditionally include attachments as well, including multiple attachments. So I'll talk about that too, but that's another really exciting feature. So let's jump into the demo. So here's your SAP. Here is the B1UP dashboards if you've never seen them. I'm going to jump into a sales order just as an example here. I'll go to my last sales order. So B1UP print and delivery exists completely within SAP, and we're trying to make everything seamless. Again, if you've never seen B1UP at all, you're going to notice that these buttons are changed. A lot of this item placement stuff has changed. New buttons. I have this print pick list, which again can be set up to read what warehouse it came from and deliver the pick list properly to the right network location. In this case, we're going to click the email button right from in here. B1UP triggers. I've done this in kind of an unusual way because I just wanted to show it for this webinar, but you can see that it's generated the template and it's dynamically selected the emails. In this case, it is auto CC'd the sales employee on this order. So a very common request is, hey, when we enter an order or when we send an invoice, can we automatically CC or BCC the sales employee so they know that that order was taken? So now you can just automate that and have it do that like without anybody doing anything. The body here, I've done it as an HTML style. Normally you wouldn't see this window, but just to show you within SAP, I've crafted a little style sheet here, and then it's output the name of the person, being myself, and something super cool here, it's output an SQL table, and I'll show you what this will look like. But it's put the items in here, and it's also done the attachments. It's done the attachments here. So you can see I've named this demo sales order 20201131. And you can call this whatever you want. You can use SQL to make this any wording you want. You don't have to click the PDF button, save it to your desktop, rename it, go to your Outlook, put the email address in, paste your body text, then reattach it. It'll all be there. And I've also, in this case, included a demo template brochure. But you could, for example, attach, if item 1 had a user manual, or if there were some, a special sheet of information or a certificate, you can have that auto attach all those various things there as well. So again, you wouldn't normally see this window. This would just be delivered, but I'm going to click send right now and I'll show you how this would automatically go to my Outlook. So that sends it, and I pop into my drafts here. So this is my actual Outlook. So this, you can have this fully deliver automatically, but in this case, I've done this just as for example purposes to show you what the email would look like. So you can have this just put everything in your sent box, allow you to review it, and then send it. And I always encourage people to do this while they're getting used to print and delivery. And once they're happy with it, and once we have all the settings tuned to exactly how you want them, then you can just have everything automatically go. So if this were multiple, it would be multiple, but in this case, it's just the one for this webinar. So you can see this really neat table. It's very simply styled, but you could have images and multiple items and make this much more fancy, but it's similar to the Amazon style order confirmation. They don't send you a PDF with your order confirmation. They just send you the items, the total, and everything. So this can be done. You can do it this way. You don't have to do it this way. Obviously, this will include the standard Crystal Reports definition. This can also be translated and automatically translated to different languages. There's a lot of support for that as well. It works really seamlessly for English and French is what we typically do. Included with print and delivery is a generic layout that allows you to do a single master layout style for all of your documents. This is not necessarily the prettiest, but this can be customized to what you want and can, we can make this look like your existing ones. If you're currently using some sort of PLD setup, you can convert over to this style and you can switch all of your documents using one layout. So this is really nice for us because we have to do, we would do your header and your logo and your information one time, and then everything else we would just do conditionally based on the document. So that's a really, it's a really neat feature that allows you to have one centralized layout. We can, of course, adapt your existing layouts that are in Crystal, but they have to be in Crystal. So you could take your existing Crystal documents and move them, or you can kind of adapt them into a single master layout, which will ultimately save you time. So from here, I can just send this. If I had multiple, I would send it. And let me just turn this off. And you can do this however you want. Again, this is per doc. You could do this different wording for the invoice, different wording for the sales order, and it makes it really easy and flexible for you to do this. So again, goes to your exchange directly, sends it through the email, and delivers it really nicely. Delivers it as if it did come from you, because it did, and that improves your the delivery percentage, the delivery chance. And also if it bounces or somebody is on a vacation and they have a autoresponder, you're going to see that immediately. So the next thing is mass delivery. So mass delivery is really great if maybe you don't want to do that each time. Maybe you don't want to mail it manually each time. You just want to make all the documents, and then periodically throughout the day, you're going to have B1UP print and delivery have a schedule. You could say every hour, or you could say every day at 6 o'clock or whenever you want. And so it can either repeat or do whatever schedule you want. And it can do the same thing that you're doing, clicking the email, and it will deliver them. Oh, one thing I wanted to show you, one thing I forgot to show on the sales order side, I'm going to jump back here. The delivery log, I don't know if I have anything here, but this will show you who sent what. This is a really big thing. So email, success, it'll tell you who did what and who has emailed this already, and it allows you to know who has sent the email, when, and whether or not you've sent it. So this is really handy. It's something I wanted to show. So this is not just for email. You can also see with the delivery log if it was printed, and you could see a lot of these different things. I've been playing around with this one quite a bit, but you could see what was done, whether it was printed, whether it was emailed, and you know exactly who and when was sent. I just want to double back on that. And back to mass delivery. So in this case, we're going to do an account balance. Account balances, right now, somewhat difficult to do with SBO mailer. You have to kind of do them manually or send them out, through the mail. With print and delivery, you can have them email, but you can also again use that combination of print or email or fax or whatnot, and you can have just mass delivery spit out, a bunch of emails, a bunch of printed documents, depending on the customer's preference, and you can then just deal with them how you would. So it will save you a lot of time. You don't have to manually generate the account balances and then manually send them. This saves a ton of time. So I'm just going to do this account balance. I'm going to preview it. I've just set it to do one user for now, but you can detect any customer that, you can exempt some of the customers if you want. You have full control over it, or you can, just simply say if they have an account balance, use them. I just hard-coded this customer for today, and I'm going to push OK. It'll mass deliver. If there's a bunch, you could just select them all. I just used this one for today. It goes through, sets the email. This can also be done fully automatic as well. You can kind of set it and forget it. I don't find customers necessarily do that yet, but you can see that it appears here. Dear Battleship Cobra attaches your account balance. It attaches I've customized this from the B1UP one. It comes with the B1UP layout. I've customized it. It's a lot easier to work with than the existing one. It actually has a data structure. Unlike, if you've ever dug into the existing customer statement, it's a little bit difficult for us to customize, but this one's fully customizable. And then you just send them. And again, you can have, if there's 100 in here, you can review each one if you want and send them manually, or these can just be sent out directly. So that is something that is beautiful. And that doesn't have to just be account balances. Again, that could be invoices, anything you want. Shipment notifications, everything can be done on a schedule. I think it's really cool.
You can also exclude people too, because I'm saying because Mike set mine up, and honestly, I don't know what I did without it. It used to take me forever. But in the business partners, you can add, well, I do not want this customer coming out in the recurring statement of accounts. So you can have some that are excluded as well.
Yeah, absolutely. If you have if you're working out some deal with a customer and you don't want them to get that automatic one, it'll confuse them. You can do that. So you have full control. That's the nice thing about B1UP. That's a great point, Tracy. Thanks for adding it. The last thing I wanted to touch on today is alerts and taking your alerts to the next level. So again, with the scheduling and the automatic reports, you don't have to just focus on delivering this to customers. You can also deliver it to yourself. If you get a set of crystal reports every day, you can include those in one single email and have like a State of the Union type email in the morning. You can have the warehouse get a shipment list of all their packages going out in the day that they need to work from. You can do an executive summary to whoever you want. And I have a little example here. So on the purchasing side, I did a daily purchase alert. So this could be just scheduled to run every day in the morning. I just did this. It's just a mass delivery. This would be handled normally completely in the background, and it would be set on a schedule, and we can get any sort of scenario set up that you want, and it will be able to do the same kind of delivery. You'll see that it's delivered, and it's very flexible in the wording. So if I pop into the drafts, you'll see my daily purchase alert, and this is an HTML styled email, and it shows you overdue POs, purchase orders that are late for delivery. So these ones haven't arrived in the due date that the vendor said. So you got to follow up with those. And then also partially received POs that have been back ordered. So these have been partially received and resulted in back orders, and you want to check into them. It's indicated that the warehouse has received a partial amount, and you should check with those vendors and make sure that, maybe some critical supply item that you need didn't get delivered and you need to find an alternative vendor, could signal problems. This could include a crystal report as well, like I was indicating. It could have all sorts of things that you would want to use. Charts, graphs, you can include various wording, you could include, you could do anything you want basically here. This is just a very simple HTML format, but again, could include multiple crystal reports, one crystal report, anything you could think of on a schedule. So this can kind of replace what you would have been doing with the alerts, and can then be reinforced by your dashboards too. We didn't touch on this because this is kind of from the different webinar, but you could have your purchasing dashboard also have these various items. So you can get an email in the morning saying like, here's kind of what you need to focus on in the day, and you can use that to work from and then reinforce that with B1UP. So this is just one example of how alerts can make your life a lot easier using print and delivery. So that's basically it. What I wanted to say. It can replace your SBO mailer and extend it much, much further. So obviously with SBO mailer, there's some limitations. It works okay, but what I've shown you today, hopefully you can see that there's a huge amount of value. You can save so much time in delivering. You can make life so much easier for your users. They could just click an email button and send emails directly out of SAP without any fussing around. You can get more reports directly to your email, have those automated to anybody. They don't even have to be an SAP user. And I hope I've shown a lot of value today.
Hey, Mike, I have a question here from Andre.
Yeah.
She wants to know, can query reports be sent to yourself in Excel format with print and delivery?
I don't think you can send them via Excel. I haven't looked into that. That's a really good question. Not in Excel anyways, but definitely in Crystal Reports or in obviously the HTML format.
Okay.
Yeah, we can do that. We can do that with SQL Management Studio. But yeah, I'll take that offline. I'm gonna look into that. I haven't had that request yet.
Okay, good. Thanks, Andre. Are there any other questions? No? Okay, well, thanks, Mike. Have a good weekend, everybody, and I'll see you in 2 weeks. Our next webinar is going to be on the hidden functionalities in SAP, so that should be pretty fun. So enjoy your weekend, everybody. Thanks, Mike.
All right, thank you.
Okay, bye.
Hi, Mike, before you sign off, it's Catherine here.
Hi, Catherine.
Hi. Just a quick question for Mike. I know it wasn't included in the seminar, but with the B1UP, can you block the ability to quote or sell to a customer?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like yeah, B1UP can do whatever you would want. So by user, we would do what's called a B1 validation. When the user tried to click the add button, if the user was detected as part of that customization, we could just prompt a little warning message just saying, you can't quote for this particular customer. And
Or
then
I'm thinking in like if somebody should be on a credit hold.
yeah, so I mean, I could jump back a little bit into there. You can see on my sales order here, I've done a few different versions of this system. So you can
Okay.
see down here, credit approved.
Yeah.
So I have made this as just a like a customized system, and basically it has a setup here where you have payment terms, and then we just had financially approved, and then for how long. But you could do this based on credit amount as well. SAP does have its own credit approval system. This one is more flexible.
Because what I'm finding is like, you know, we get an alert saying this one has passed their credit limit,
Yeah.
but it doesn't stop people from quoting.
Oh, quotes.
Or
Yeah,
selling.
yeah. Yes. Well, I mean, in strict definition, a quote is just a quote. It's like, here's how much it will cost, right? But I mean, in terms of if your business process, you don't even want them to quote 100%. We can just piggyback off SAP system, and we could say, hey, they're on, you know, the SAP hold system. We could soft warn them with a pop-up that says, like, warning, they're going to be blocked when they order. So this is for pricing only. Or you can just completely block them and say, this customer is on bad credit terms. Please don't spend any more time quoting them. Stuff like whatever. Anything you want, basically with B1UP.
I basically want people to come to me to check first before they sell it.
Yeah, I've done a lot of variations of that type of system. It seems like one of the most requested ones. I mean, as you can see here, so this is credit approved.
Okay.
You know, like so I mean, I've done them where you could set them on credit hold, or they get auto set on credit hold. Like every day it'll check, it'll set them on a credit hold. And then you can reinforce that. And if you set them off of credit hold, it sends an internal message to the sales employee, or it can send an email to the sales employee too, to let them know that you've sorted things out. So it makes it easier to communicate, stuff like that. Yeah, it's really flexible. If you're interested, let's scope it out.
Okay, and so Tracy, are you still there?
I still am there, and I still am. What can I do for you, Catherine?
I'm going to want a copy of the seminar because I missed a little
I've
bit.
got yourself, and Tina already wants one as well. So guys, just because I'm leaving to head back to Quebec, just send me an email, tracy@forjestic.com, and say I want a copy, and when I get home, I'll get that taken care of. All right?
I'll do that. And Mike, this was excellent. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're very welcome. There's also the regular B1UP webinar as well. So.
I've got a lot of those copies too, and actually they're all on our Forjestic YouTube page video section. Mike is there as well, and there's a lot of Boyum videos in there.
Perfect.
Okay, yes, you told me that. I've got to go through those again still.
Yep. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Mike. Bye. Have a nice weekend, everyone.
Bye.